In the wild, survival is everything. You learn to use what nature gives you. Long before my adventures, the Swiss faced a massive challenge during World War II: how to feed their people when the world was at war. Their solution? Turning cold mountain caves into natural pantries. A lifeline when everything was uncertain. Today, we rely on electricity and modern conveniences. But what happens when the power goes out? The Swiss knew that relying on technology could be a weakness. They looked to the mountains, their silent, powerful allies. This isn't just history. It's a lesson in resilience and working with nature to meet our most basic needs. Why does this old method matter today? Because the world is still unpredictable. We face new challenges: climate change, energy crises, supply chain disruptions. The Swiss mountain storage hack is more than a cool story. It's a blueprint for self-sufficiency. The simplest solutions, rooted in nature, are often the most reliable. It's about rediscovering a lost connection to the earth and its power to provide. So let's journey back in time and explore these cold, dark caves. We'll see how the Swiss, surrounded by conflict, used their wits and environment to stay strong. This is a tale of ingenuity, community, and the enduring power of nature. It's a survival story we can all learn from. It's about finding strength in the landscape and wisdom in the old ways. This is the story of the Swiss mountain pantry, a forgotten masterpiece of survival. Let's uncover its secrets. To understand this food storage method, you have to understand the time. World War II. Switzerland was neutral, but surrounded by conflict. Borders closed, trade stopped, and the Swiss were on their own. They had to rely on what they could produce and preserve. Failure meant starvation. The Swiss government launched the Wallen Plan. Make Switzerland self-sufficient in food. Every patch of land became a garden or field. The nation mobilized with shovels and seeds. But growing food was only half the battle. Preservation was the other. Electricity was scarce and unreliable. Refrigerators were a luxury. They needed a method that was low-tech, large-scale, and dependable. The answer was right in front of them: the Alps. The Swiss, always a mountain people, understood the cold, stable temperatures deep inside the rock. History, necessity, and geography came together. The threat of war pushed them to perfect a uniquely Swiss method. It was a brilliant response to a desperate situation. Sometimes, the greatest challenges lead to the most ingenious solutions. The mountains became their greatest ally. The Swiss turned adversity into innovation. And their solution still inspires today. The heart of this survival hack lies deep within the mountains. The Swiss used natural caves and old military bunkers, nature's perfect refrigerators. The immense thermal mass of the mountain acts as a giant insulator, keeping the temperature inside stable year-round. These caves stay at a cool 8 to 12 degrees Celsius, ideal for slowing food spoilage. No electricity needed, just the raw, constant power of the earth. Humidity is another key factor. The cave's natural moisture keeps foods from drying out. Cheese matures perfectly. Root vegetables stay crisp, and cured meats remain tender. This unique microclimate is almost impossible to replicate artificially. The darkness of the caves protects food from light, which can degrade nutrients. The Swiss didn't invent a machine, they used what nature had already built. It's the ultimate low-tech, high-efficiency solution. The caves provided a stable, reliable environment for long-term food preservation. No power grid, no fuel, no problem. The mountain did the work. The Swiss simply had to use it wisely. That's the secret of the caves. Getting food into the caves was a disciplined process. Root vegetables like potatoes and carrots were harvested on dry days, cured in the shade, then packed in crates with sand or sawdust for insulation. This kept them from touching, so if one spoiled, it wouldn't ruin the rest. Fruits like apples and pears were individually wrapped to prevent bruising. Grains and legumes were dried thoroughly in the sun, then stored in sealed sacks or bins. The cool, dry cave conditions kept these staples viable for years. It was a community effort. Families worked together, following methods passed down for generations. Every step, from curing to packing, was done with care. Their survival depended on it. The process was precise, efficient, and rooted in tradition. The Swiss became experts in mountain storage. It was a ritual of resilience. And it worked. The mountain caves were stocked with the staples of the Swiss diet, foods that could last. Cheese was king. Huge wheels of Gruyere and Emmental matured in the cool, humid caves, developing deep flavors. Cured meats like sausages and air-dried beef hung from the ceilings, preserved by salt and steady airflow. Crates of potatoes, carrots, onions and cabbages formed the backbone of daily meals. Apples and pears, carefully wrapped, provided vitamins and sweetness through winter. Barrels of sauerkraut added probiotics and variety. The driest cave section stored grains, flour, beans, and lentils, the foundation for bread and stews. It was a complete, balanced diet, all preserved without electricity. The Swiss created a fortress of food, hidden in the mountains. It was their insurance against the unknown. Comparing a mountain cave to a modern refrigerator is like comparing a sailing ship to a speedboat. Refrigerators are fast and convenient, but totally dependent on electricity. When the power goes out, your fridge is just an insulated box. The mountain cave is passive, low-tech, and reliable. No moving parts, no power needed. Its performance is consistent for centuries. You can't adjust the temperature, but you work with what nature provides. The cave's natural humidity keeps food moist and fresh, unlike the dry cold of a fridge. Caves allow for beneficial aging, cheese, wine, and more. The cave works with biology, the fridge tries to stop it. For everyday life, fridges win on convenience. But in a crisis, the cave method is superior. Resilient, sustainable, and self-sufficient. It's a lesson in working with nature, not against it. The old way holds a wisdom we shouldn't forget. The mountain cave storage method was born from the Swiss landscape and culture. The Alps cover more than half of Switzerland, providing natural caves and cold rock formations. The climate, high altitude, long winters, made long-term storage essential. Deep inside the rock, the mountain maintains a constant chill, insulated from summer heat. In a warmer country, this method wouldn't work. The Swiss were farmers, herders, and mountaineers, with deep knowledge of the land. Traditions of cheesemaking and food preservation were already part of their culture. The WWII method was just a scaled-up version of what they'd always done. Geography, climate, and culture combined to create a uniquely Swiss solution. The mountains provided the means, the people provided the know-how. It was a system that couldn't be copied anywhere else. The best survival strategies are rooted in local environment and skills. It was a true partnership between people and their mountains. This isn't just a story, it's a blueprint for resilience. The Swiss built a food system that didn't depend on fragile infrastructure. It was decentralized, low-tech, and robust. The mountain cave method has a zero-carbon footprint, no electricity, no waste. As we face climate change and energy challenges, passive, nature-based solutions like this are more relevant than ever. The Swiss adapted old wisdom for a new crisis. We should preserve and learn from traditional knowledge. Their plan was collective and long-term. Everyone participated, planning for years of hardship. Today, we often think short-term. This story encourages us to think bigger and more collectively about food security. Build local food networks, learn preservation skills, and plan for uncertainty, together. The Swiss example inspires us to be ready for whatever comes next. The best tools are often the ones you already have. The Swiss saw their mountains as a solution. A giant, natural refrigerator. That's the survival mindset, thriving by using resources with intelligence and respect. You don't need the Alps to apply this wisdom. A cool basement, a root cellar, or learning to can and ferment can make you more self-reliant. Planting a garden gives you control over your food. These are acts of empowerment, reconnecting you to the basics of life. Every skill you learn is a tool in your survival kit. The world has changed, but our basic needs haven't. The Swiss mountain pantries are a testament to human ingenuity. Don't wait for a crisis, start now. Be curious, be resourceful, and prepare for the future. Understand your environment, use what it offers, and never underestimate your ability to adapt. The Swiss proved a nation could do it. You can too. Thrive, don't just survive.